if you've ever wanted to make your party do something stupid, then literally just put a door in their way. This is the story of one such occasion where we follow on from this video story, and we get in a lot of trouble from a very, very simple action that should have been easy, but we made difficult, and we also made it fun. That's the important thing. No matter what happens, it's always fun. So me, the thief, Watserus Ismene, find myself among a group of very chaotic and unusual people who all appear to be either very, very dim or very, very smart. And in the previous session, which I had to miss, and in fact, it was kind of the opposite half of the party that were missing. So what the DM did was a meanwhile session. So while we were trying to escape from an auction house, they were leading a slave rebellion and trying to, this is what they told us, protect a lady's turnips, which I have no context for that. That is what happened, though. They protected the turnips. That's a paladin for you. Very, yeah. Anyway, so the two halves of the group met up at this church that we'd been staying at. The nun, who had become our friend because I tricked her and poisoned her, and now she's our bestie, is trying to find us a way out. Fortunately, the grandsire of this land, Maximilian Hammerus, has a house known as the Halls of Hammerus, but unfortunately he is an unstable homeless person, so his halls are in fact the sewer. And apparently to get out of the city without being attacked by like the 5 factions who we don't know who they are, but they all want us dead, we have to take the sewer. But getting to the sewer is difficult because it's not near the church. The church apparently has no plumbing. So I decide, and I think this might have all just been me. Like everything that happens from now on might be because we spent a lot of time talking about turnips, and I was like, well, I need to escape with the wonderful things I have. I had a magical book I stole off the evil eye, forehead, glowing gnolls. I had another non-magical book about how to build golems out of iron. I had a weird, I think it was like a sphere that everyone wanted, but I'm a thief, so it's all mine now. And I decided the easiest way to get to the sewers from here would be to just kind of Assassin's Creed style hop into a cart full of hay, hide myself there. And I did it quite successfully. I bashed my head because I only got a partial success, but I was in there, I was safe, and everyone was like, "Ooh, let's join him." And they all try and get in this cart. None of them are very good, and the guards come around the corner because we're in big trouble for causing an uprising, and they're just about to spot us when the fire wizard, the immolator called Ash, decides that their new thing, their favourite new thing, is this ritual ability. It is a move that they took from the wizard class, and basically it takes the place of basically any spell. It's a thing you can do when you need to cast a spell of any description. And unfortunately, every time you do it, there's a cost, and there's a trouble, and then there's the reward of the spell. So after watching everyone kind of bundle and like half wedge themselves with their legs sticking out the top of this hay stack in the back of a farmer's cart, this ritual spell Ash casts is a teleport spell. For him to get from standing right next to the cart to inside and safely hidden in the hay with a teleport spell. And unfortunately, this is a world in which tearing a rip in reality often causes demons and bad things. So we end up with a partial success on this teleport spell. We end up teleporting the entirety of the cart somewhere else in the city. We now no longer know where we are. We're away from the guards, and the farmer turns to us and, "What's going on?" Very confused. At which point we decide we're adopting the farmer, because this is a thing we do. We're valiant heroes who help the common people. And at this point, I feel like I should describe to you by going over here. Wait, let's go closer to the microphone. By going over here, the retinue of hirelings we have encouraged to join us. So the first one is an elf from a gang of pompadour-wearing bandit elves who we destroyed, basically, and left one alive, and we were like, cool, you're going to help us, because they were a master thief. Now they've got a master thief in me now, but they didn't at that point. And then while I was away in a session later, we did exactly the same thing again, and got ourselves a warrior hireling. Now, what hirelings in Dungeon World do is very simple. They add something to a roll or a damage. So the warrior gives you 2 extra damage, but if you get hit, they take it, and they die. And the thief is basically a narrative tool where you go, check for traps, or as something along the lines of, go fetch this, go break open or disable this trap or something. And that's very handy until it comes to combat, in which case they just straight up die. We've managed to avoid that. So coming back to my original point of the story, which is we adopt a farmer who is very confused and just really, really wants to deliver his hay to the guard stables, which is the opposite place to where we want to go. It's right next to the gate. So he's just like, well, I'm gonna go then and deliver my hay if you want to hide. And we're like, I'm afraid not. We have to escape. So if we take this and borrow this cart, get out. You can have the cart back. We'll be out of your hair. So what ends up happening is I take the reins. And because I'm a swashbuckling Robin Hood sexy figure, I bungle it. And then we go careering down this hill. And this is where I get to it's kind of circle back to the beginning of my story, which is all you need to do to get a party to do, in this case, more stupid stuff, is to put a door in their way. We are careering down a hill, straight to freedom, through the main gate, which is locked. And the farmer gets scared, and the paladin is fond of bopping people who get in the way, who disrupt the justice that she is about to wreak on whatever. So she bops him. And like everyone else at the table is just like, no, you didn't. That's just a farmer. Everyone rolls to defend the farmer who, and no one succeeds. So the farmer gets bopped on the head with a shield, doesn't die, but the Ash, in his enthusiasm... Oh, no, sorry, the ranger, in his enthusiasm to kind of take the reins, pushes him out of the way to get to the front, out of the back, and knocks him off the cart and under the wheels. So we never saw that farmer again. The paladin is glad to have rid of the farmer, but has reassured us all that her god is merciful. Meanwhile, the cart, out of control, is speeding towards the gate. Or so everyone thought. Like I said in a previous episode, this game is pure chaos. Everyone just says things and things happen. So while the ranger, very smart, can talk to animals, calm down the horse, took control of the reins, everyone else was in the back of the car going, "Oh God, we're going 60 miles an hour. We're going to crash into the gates. Look, what's a thief? How fast can you pick a lock?" And I'm like, probably at 60 miles an hour. I've never tried. Just hold a lock pick out the front of the car and like hang off the horse and see how quickly I can do it while we're careering down this hill. We're all gonna die. And no one listened to the ranger, who was like, "No, don't worry about it. I've got this." Ash, with his new favorite toy, the ritual, can be used for anything, which the wizard took to mean you should use this for everything, decided to unlock a simple steel gate with a dark magic ritual using the powers as the sacrifice kind of element to this spell, using the magical evil powers contained within the evil book of the glowy forehead-eyed Null's book. I don't know if I explained that well. There's an evil book that I had that is now being used in an evil ritual to unlock a door. Just so we're clear. We weren't even going that fast. Everyone just shouted. So, obviously, there is a only partial success out of the fail, partial success, full success system in Dungeon World. Partial success meant that the door was open. But so was the evil magic in the book. And spread to the entirety of the town we were trying to escape from. And we made it to the gate. And the cart stopped. We all got off. And the clouds rolled in. And the guards turned into crows. Everything went quiet. We were all like, "Cool, let's go. We're out of here. We got the magic stuff. The nun's still happy with us somehow." But the paladin, and now this is probably the smartest thing this paladin has ever done, prayed to her god, saying, "What here is evil?" And got no response. Because she got, one of those paladin feelings that this place had become desecrated. Somehow. So weird. It's not how we left it, honest. So the paladin jumped off of the cart and was like, "With me, companions, to the church! Save Valeria, save the house of Valeria. The god of the hearth needs protection, and so does her house, her church." So begins running back into town now that we have escaped. And everyone else is like, "Hang on, what?" And half the team are like, "Okay, fine, we'll help." Eventually, I will cut a long story short. There is fighting. My character gets completely fucking lost in the town. We end up killing lots of gnolls. One of the other characters goes into the sewers just to see if his grand halls are okay. Apparently this guy's rich because he has a lot of liquid assets down there. Well, that's what he tells everyone. And the paladin starts to make her way to the church, and by sheer chance, we all end up at the church. It's dark. the Blue Nun and her clerics have been corralled to defend the church and maybe reignite the hearth of the god Valeria there or something. And we hear an ominous and slightly discordant kind of blong, 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 blong on the organ. At which point we burst into like the organ back room of the church to see what on earth is going on, after having beaten up all sorts of things, to find a giant cat just slamming its paws on the organ. And that is where we left it for that session, because I don't know what's going on. Thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe if you want to hear more stories from all sorts of stuff. I am going to be uploading on this channel an abridged version of a D&D game that I played with my friends C-Top, Die, Jazz and Dragast, because I want more practice DMing D&D. They're noobs, so we enjoy kind of getting them into the mood and learning to roleplay. That's what's happening in my D&D session, so hopefully you will enjoy that abridged. Or if you want to catch the next session live, it happens on the 11th of June on twitch.tv/gamingftl. Like, I do all sorts of stuff all over the place. I'm not very organised. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. I'll catch you next time. Mustache.